If you put an amplifier to your life, what would people hear from it? Would they hear of what you would settle for? Or would they hear of what you had given all for the purpose that you're made for? Would they see the times you failed that led to success? Or would they see the times that you ran away because you were so afraid of failing? Would they see the times that you spent making genuine connections? Or would they see the hours you spent scrolling until the next thing happened to you? Take a second to think about it. Here's the intro, and I'll be right back. Hey, family, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, I'm that guy Amp. Do me a favor and click that subscribe button and join the most lit family on YouTube, the Amp family. Click that notification bell so you don't miss anything new on this channel. So let's be honest, you've had a moment now to ponder the questions that were asked at the beginning. For some of you, it was all positive and up and up. For some of you, got mixed up in a little bit in that gray area. And then others were like, what am I doing with my life? You're not alone. I recently got the question of what is amp life? Like, you always end your videos with always live an amp life. So what does that mean? So let's get amped and let's get into it. John 10:10 says, the thief's purpose is to steal, to kill, and destroy. My purpose is to give them a rich and satisfying life. Now, some of you saw rich and y'all like, show me the money. But I'm sorry, if you thought that's what it was, you're missing the point. You're focused on the wrong thing. And so my goal here is to challenge you. The King James Version mentions a life more abundantly. Let me tell you a quick story. I had the opportunity to ride the metros every day, all day, every day, right? And so for me, it comes with the cost of meeting lots of different people. One time though, I was on the train and I had the opportunity to meet someone and I said, hey, great morning, how you doing? And they said, I'm just living the dream, all energetic. And I said, oh, so how's the dream coming? What does it look like? What are you doing? And they stopped in their tracks and they looked back at me and they're like, what are you talking about? I said, well, you said you were living the dream. So I was curious what your dream is. And I stopped. And as I stopped with him, you see the gears turning. It's like, I don't even know how to respond to that. But as we conversed a little bit more, found out that they had a dream that they weren't living at all. They thought about doing it, but work got in the way. They thought about doing it again. Family situations got in the way. They thought about doing it. They had to go to school some more, thought about doing it. And just at this point, hadn't really gotten around to it. And it hit me. It's like, how many people say that we're living the dream or living the purpose that we're made for, but we aren't really living the dream. We've settled for someone else's dream, or we settled for somebody else's purpose kind of being done in our lives. And so the amp life movement, of course, or amp life concept principle was born. And it wasn't by accident. It was in this moment, I knew that there was more. And so I often share amp life or always live an amp life because my goal is very simple. The amp life movement principle holds on this one thing, this one truth, that our lives were never meant to be mediocre. Yeah, like sometimes we settle for mediocre because we don't see any way out of it. We've done something so long that we're just okay with it. Or we will sit at a dead-end job for much of our lives and not live out what God has intended for us because of fear. All the challenge that I talk to you about when it comes to the amp life principle and the amp life movement in itself is to overcome fear, to see the obligations and kind of get rid of that mindset, but see the opportunities. To really kick fear in the face and move forward in what we're made to do And finally, really jumping in and making genuine connections, making people family. And that goes so much deeper than it sounds. But the goal behind the AMP life is truly getting people out of this existence and getting them into that leveled up existence. God never meant for our lives to be down here, down in the dumps always and struggling and so forth. Now, let's be honest, there's going to be some difficult situations, challenging times, because that's just how life is. But what we're doing in our life, the purpose that we're made, we should be doing that always. And my goal here is to get people in the mindset of truly living the purpose, the dream that God has made them for. Unapologetically, being genuinely themselves, connecting with people differently, doing all those things and getting really excited day in and day out when they go to work and they come home and they feel exhausted, but they are so fulfilled. And for them, it didn't feel like work. It felt like they were doing and living in that purpose life that God has intended for them. And so my desire for each and every person that comes to this channel is to live an AMP life. And so over the next couple weeks, over the next couple months, the focus of this channel is living an AMP life, because of course I'm that guy amped. And so of course this energy, this fire, this ready to go, woo, excitement, we're gonna bring it to you every single time. And so we want you all to get in that mindset. And how do we get in that mindset? We show you and we walk through kind of the steps of doing it. So as I mentioned, getting out of the obligation mindset and into that opportunity mindset, kicking fear in the face and making things happen, and making people family. Those are the 3 pillars of the whole AMP life principle. And so I truly hope that you will join me in going to the next level in life. Join me in going further. And as we continue on in this, building on this principle, showing and sharing, tell somebody and join the AMPed Life movement. We're going to take the world over, sharing wherever people will allow us to share, because that's what God has intended for me to do. I'm living an AMP life. Are you? All right, family. That's all I have for you. So do me a favor. If you enjoyed the content, if you enjoyed the video, give me that thumbs up. If you have some thoughts, some questions, some comments, leave them down in the comment section. I'll get to them. I'm always online somewhere, so I'll reply back. We can have a conversation even there. Feel free to email me if you want to. It's on the page. And do me a favor and subscribe. That way you never miss anything that's going on That Guy Amp's channel. We want to grow with you. And until next time, know that I love you. God loves you even more. Be inspired, be edified, be encouraged. Put God first in all that you do. Love unconditionally. Do what you love. And always live an AMP life. Let's get amped.